Well, good morning, everybody. We're out here in the back shed. Got a 1943 John Deere B here, and we're going to start her up. Right now it's set on regular cultivators just to cultivate stuff. We're going to take this gang off. There's only one tine on the other side because I was just running one set last year, and I don't even remember now what I was cultivating with them, but it don't matter. But anyway, the tag is not on this tractor, but for those of you who are interested, that right there is the serial number. It's 147828. And what happened was the guy that sold this to me, he had the tag removed because he went to the dealership, and the dealership said, well, bring me the tag, because he couldn't read it, and it was hard to read. So he gives me the tag with it, and that was in West Virginia, and somehow between here and there I've misplaced it, but I had written it down. It was written on the bill of sales, and I had written it down in my John Deere manual. I had written down the serial number and 1943, so I knew which one it was. So when I had the mag off one day, I stamped that in there so that the real serial number of this tractor wouldn't get lost. So anyway, she's got a set of cultivators on it. The front tires, that's what was on it when I bought it. The back ones we replaced. Those are brand new. Well, shit, they're 20 years old now, but they were brand new. And we're going to see here if we can't start this old girl up. I don't know just exactly here what we're going to entail this morning, but we'll see what happens here. The thing usually starts pretty good, but we'll find out here. First time of the year, it's always best to take this lift off. You just pull it back and that'll kick right off. That makes it a lot easier. Yeah, we'll undo the clutch. Okay, let's see here what happens. This usually takes 3 chokes. We'll see what it does. There's one choke. Roll it back, put the choke back on. Give it another choke. And give it another choke. Once you've ran it once of the year, you don't have to give it that much, but yeah, nothing going. Usually this thing loses hydraulics. Oh, she's got plenty. Well, I got the front tires blowed up off camera there. They, one of them had 28, which is what I run in them, and the other one only had 10. The back here, it's on the bottom. The back here looks like that tire over there is low, and looks like this one here might be about right. I run around 12 pounds in them. Oh, geez, that is low. That's only got 7. So, yeah, I guess we got to put some air in that. Yeah, you can see the sidewalls picking right up on it. That's a good thing. That's 10. Let's see, that ought to be pretty close. I'm not pulling this like a pulling tractor. That's 11. So I'm not too concerned exactly how much is in it, like, you know, a pulling guy would be. Yeah, 11 and a half. I ain't gonna worry about it. That's close enough. This other side over here might be even lower. I don't know. Could be because it's setting in a funny. It looks like it's ballooned out pretty good there on the edges. So that one's up there. Yeah, we got a first time of the season, you know, normal stuff. And yeah, 6 pounds. Guess we need some air in this old girl. Probably have all my stuff knocked off there. There's no calcium in this tractor or anything either. I don't believe in wet tires. 9.5. I'm a firm believer in keeping them dry and putting on cast iron weights. Just the way I've always been. I've seen too many tractors that are a mess because of people putting calcium in them. And well, here's something that I like to do. It's probably foolish, but you can see that grease fitting's all cleaned off. You know, there's no dirt on it. This here is what they look like when you start with them. And I don't know if this is really the best thing to do, but I got a little soda bottle here. A little bit of gasoline in it. And I just go down here with that little bit of gasoline because that grease is so old. You know, it's from last year and it's all dried. And when you get done, you end up with a nice clean grease fitting. That way you're not pumping all this stuff, you know, the dirt. It does several things. It wears out your grease fitting, wears out your grease gun end. That's the main one that it does because, you know, it's just like an abrasive compound. And you also are shoving that stuff into whatever bearing you're trying to lubricate. Not that this out here isn't always dusty anyway. These things are kind of a, you know, a crap show. But anyway, places like up front on the wheel bearing, you know, those ones up there, you really don't want to be pushing dirt into your bearings. That, you know, defeats the purpose. So I'm going to shut you back off. I just wanted to show you that. And I'm going to go back to washing. I got another about 4 of them here to wash, and then we'll bring you back. Well, we're going to see if we can't find a way in there. That's got a small place in the casting. There we go. And that right there is what there is. About 2 inches over the 1 3/4 maybe over the actual radiator bottom. So we've got plenty of antifreeze. And we can put that back on. Yeah, the old boy that had this there, his name was Freddie Bruno. He was an Italian from the old school, you know. And first time my wife ever met him, when we went to pick this up, I'd bought it off him quite a year earlier, before I'd met my wife. And I hadn't picked it up yet because it was in West Virginia, and, you know, I was living in Maine, and I knew this guy working in the oil field. And I drove in down there, and of course he hadn't seen me for about a year. And he walks up behind me. He always liked to slap you on the back when he saw you. And he says, "How the F are you, my friend?" And when he did it, of course he slapped me on the back. I mean, like, almost knocked the wind out of you. And of course I just looked at my wife grinning, and my wife sitting there going, later on that night, she says, "Oh my word," she says, "I thought he was going to beat you up." I says, "No, that's just the way he is." And he was a sweetheart of a guy. If he liked you, you know, he was a friend for life. If he didn't like you, he didn't have a problem pulling, as he called it, my 30-06. and he weren't afraid to pull it on somebody. And I am pretty sure he'd probably shoot somebody. You know, he would have if they gave him much trouble, but most people took the hint and they left. But yeah, it's been a good tractor. You know, I bought my John Deere A, the one that's up on the sawmill. I paid $400 for that. And that's still all original tires from when I bought it. This one here I paid $400 for, and I've put back tires on it. And I went over the carburetor once about a year ago. Oh, yeah, it was last year, I think. It finally got to the point that it wasn't running good. And I went through the carburetor. And other than that, this tractor's only had oil changes. And it's been a sweetheart of a tractor. And I always think of Freddie when I run it. It's kind of a funny story how you remember people that are long gone now, you know, and you've got something that carries their memory on. It's kind of a cool thing. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling here and go to greasing. Talk to you in a bit. So anyway, in case anybody's curious, these cultivators, I don't know if you can see this or not, but they're set for 41 inches. I run them 42. That's what I set my, you know, actual cultivator for when I'm actually working it. And that's what we mark our rows. So what we do is we take the long one, put it out about as far as it'll go, just leave like a ½ inch in there. I'll tighten that up, and then I'll go put one from the same side out the same distance, and I'll measure until I get 42 center to center. Then I'll go to marking my rows. Pretty simple procedure. This one over here, I've actually got to start the machine up because they're setting up in the air a little bit and it's hard to get it. So I'll pull this thing in neutral. Give it one choke. This thing always likes a choke. Might not go, so I might not have choked enough. No. We never set the idle on this tractor, so it's easy to shut it off. Give me the hammer. This one here, I guess I probably should hit it with a wire brush. Maybe that's loose. There we go. Yeah, that one must have a swell on the end of it right there. Probably somebody took a hammer to it. I learned that years ago. You don't hammer on these because they will kick you in the ass if you do. That damn shoulder, I got a bad shoulder. Okay. Now, we come in from the same side as we did on the other one. I haven't loosened that bolt yet. So, yeah, let's see here how that goes in. Nothing to it. Now, we've got to have the tape measure. And yeah, so we got to go in. We wanted it 42, so we just got to pull that in a little. I think that'll do it. Yeah, close enough. And then tighten it up. And that's all we run is these two for the vacuum, and then I have them to drag out the tractor tread. I leave them.